we're going to be going over things that are keeping you poor inside of Driving Empire. Now, there's lots of factors we need to go over, so before we do that, make sure to subscribe and drop a like in this video. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, now this first thing is something that I know most of you have done at least one time, and I see so many people do it, and it's just so surprising to me. So, it's basically buying and selling cars really fast. Like, let's say you're playing the game and you're a newish player and you're progressing a bunch. What you don't want to do is go in, let's say you buy this car right here for 70k, right? Then you sell it and you lose 30% of that value. So you end up with that much money. I'll have it on screen. And then you've just been able to maybe afford a car that's just a bit more expensive like that. Then, you know, you sell that and then you go a bit more expensive. Doing this is terrible because there's so many easier ways to just make money a bit more so you can have one car, stick with that car, and then you don't sell too fast. So make sure you're not buying and selling cars really fast. That's a common mistake I see a lot of people making, so please avoid buying and selling cars quick. Alright, so this next thing that's keeping you poor is actually pretty similar to the previous one. If you're someone who's going through cars a lot, or maybe just trying a few different cars, one thing you should not be doing is maxing out these cars. Now that might seem weird because you'd be like, well, maxing out your cars, it makes them faster. Why wouldn't you want to? But hear me out. If you haven't found the right car for you yet in game, or at least a car that you're gonna keep for a few weeks at most, don't max upgrade it because you can never get the money back. Once you sell your car, you never get the money back from upgrades unless you buy the car back. Then you'll have the upgrades installed already. But let's say, you know, you buy this McLaren to try, end up not liking it, selling it. If you upgrade it all the way, you're not getting that money back. So if you're someone going through cars quickly, easy way to lose money is maxing it out. Obviously, I'm not saying don't upgrade your cars. I'm saying don't upgrade cars that you aren't going to keep very long. Alright, now this next thing is very similar to the previous things I just went over. I honestly don't really think you should be doing this at all if you can't afford it. Like, let's say you barely have any money in this game. All you can afford is the car and maybe a few upgrades or personalization items. I recommend spending the money on upgrades to make it faster so you can make more money, because if you spend all your money, which is really easy to spend on these upgrades in here, it can definitely be kind of complicated. You know what I'm saying? Like, these upgrades are very expensive on this car, right? So let's say, you know, you go through, buy all those expensive upgrades, spend a ton of money on a gradient. Like, look at that. It could cost $1 million. You could accidentally spend $1 million just thinking that you're buying some cool looking color. Like, it's that easy to accidentally spend a ton of money. So I highly recommend against buying these upgrades unless you know you permanently want to keep this car. Of course, this is a very specific thing on a few cars, like such as McLarens. A lot of cars don't have these options, but if you are owning a car with these options and you don't know if you want to keep it, I wouldn't recommend spending money on those upgrades. But if you do decide you like the car, feel free, go ahead, buy those appearance changes. They look amazing, I think, but they are really expensive, so watch your budget when upgrading with those things. Alright, so this thing I'm about to show you is something that you might not even know could be done that could cause you to basically lose millions of dollars, okay? So pay attention for this part. If you actually go to these collection things, you might think, oh cool, I get free rewards for owning cars, right? But what you might not know is, if you claim any of these rewards, you'll never be able to sell your cars again. Now, I'm saying that like I'm for real. Like, literally, look at these Audis. I can't sell them anymore. McLaren, I cannot sell my McLarens anymore. So, if you claim the rewards from that collections thing, you cannot sell any of the vehicles that are in this collection. So basically, if you claim the McLaren rewards, all these McLarens are here, you can never sell them again. Now, you can still sell, you know, your other cars, I believe, like, that are just random cars in your inventory. Like, if we just scroll down a little bit, you can sell those cars still. But the cars in those collections are millions of dollars worth of cars. Like, let's just go, for example, McLaren. Look at this collection. That is probably at least $1 million right there. That one, over 22 million probably around in cars there. So if you accidentally, like, or well, not accidentally, but if you claim one of those, not realizing that you'll never be able to sell those cars again, that could really, you know, mess you up in this game with your money, because you might have been planning to sell one of those cars after using it for something. I don't really know what you're planning to do with your cars, but I'm just warning you, make sure you're aware of that. Do not, you know, claim those collection rewards unless you're willing to give up the ability to sell those vehicles, because you'll never be able to sell them again. You'll permanently have them. Alright, this next one's more for the new players, so if you're new here, pay attention. Basically, you could easily end up wasting your money on a boat or a helicopter, not realizing they really have no purpose and you're never going to use them. So, basically, for boats, there's no boat races, and what do you need the boat for? Like, you can teleport over to that island. No, nothing's in the water. There's nothing to do in the water, at least with the helicopters here, which I still advise not using, or not buying, but with the helicopters, they at least serve a purpose. You know, you can get around the map quicker. I mean, there is a teleport system that you can teleport to all sorts of places, though. I really don't see the need for any of these boats or helicopters, but if you really want a helicopter, it helps you get around the map. But I'll be for real, just don't waste your money on a helicopter or a boat. As a new player, at least, it's not needed. It costs a lot of money, and if you gotta sell that vehicle, you end up losing 30% of your money, so I just advise staying away from those. Alright, now this last one is a very big money trap that you gotta watch out for, and that is houses. Now, you might not know this, but if you buy a house, you can never sell that house again. Similar to like what happens when you trade your cars in for the collection rewards. You'll never be able to sell those cars. Well, no matter what you do with a house, you'll never be able to sell it. So once you buy it, you can't sell it, and it can get very expensive. Let's just say 20 million for this house, 12 million for that, 9 million for that, 15 million for that. I don't believe you're warned at all when buying a house, so you might buy it thinking, oh, I'll just check it out for 10 minutes and then sell it. No, you can't. You'll never be able to sell it, so I'm warning you guys, don't get trapped in a house. What do you need a house for in a car game anyways? It's about racing, and I get it, you know, you can do some cool stuff at a house, but usually in public servers, other people have cool houses. Like in a public server I'm in, I have this sick house out. You can just come use my house. I don't care, guys. But don't buy your own houses if you don't have much money in this game, because very easy to lose all your money on a house without even realizing it. Like, you could think you're able to sell it, you buy it, and then you lose all your money. I don't want that to happen to you guys, so I'm trying to warn you now if you don't know. But those are things that are keeping you poor in Driving Empire. I really hope you guys took some notes. You know, make sure you don't do any of the things I showed in this video. Switch up your ways if you're doing those things. And yeah, hopefully you guys can save some more money, be able to get that car that you want in the game finally. But yeah, I truly hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like in this video. I would truly appreciate it. Subscribe to the notification bell so you never miss another upload. Check out the video on screen here. YouTube thinks to like it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.